They said it would never happen. They said the bridge was burned. They said AJ Styles walking back through those TNA doors was nothing but a fantasy, a pipe dream that wrestling fans would whisper about in dark corners of the internet but never actually see. Well, guess what? January 15, 2026, the impossible just became reality. The phenomenal one didn't just come home, he kicked the door down, and what we witnessed on TNA Impact wasn't just a return. It was a declaration of war. It was history being rewritten in real time. And if you think you know how this story ends, you don't know anything yet. Because what happened when AJ Styles stepped into that AMC era spotlight is going to change everything you thought you knew about professional wrestling. But before we dive into this absolute chaos, I need you to do something for me. I need you to become part of this moment with us. See, Slam Zone isn't just a channel, it's a family. It's a community of people who live and breathe this business just like you do. People who understand that when something special happens in wrestling, we don't just watch it, we feel it in our souls. So right now, I'm asking you, I'm not demanding, I'm asking from one wrestling fan to another, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Because moments like what we're about to break down together, these are the moments that remind us why we fell in love with this beautiful, brutal art form in the first place. And I promise you, by the time we reach the end of this video, you're going to understand why this return isn't just another comeback story. This is something deeper. This is something that's going to shake the entire wrestling world to its core. The AMC era. Just saying those words sends electricity through the wrestling community. TNA partnering with AMC, bringing Impact Wrestling to one of the most prestigious networks in television history. This isn't just a business deal. This is validation. This is TNA saying we're not the scrappy underdog anymore, we're here to compete at the highest level. And what better way to launch this new chapter than to bring back the man who is TNA? The man who put that company on his back and carried it through the darkest valleys and the highest peaks? But here's where it gets emotional, and I want you to really understand this. AJ Styles didn't leave TNA on good terms back in the day. There was bitterness, there was disappointment, there were words said that cut deep on both sides. When he walked out, many people thought that was at the final chapter in a complicated love story between a wrestler and the company that made him a star. Years went by. He conquered New Japan, he became WWE champion, he cemented himself as one of the greatest of all time in every promotion he touched. And TNA? They survived, they evolved, they rebuilt. The narrative was written, AJ had moved on, TNA had moved on, and never the two shall meet again. Except wrestling has a way of bringing people back to where they belong. Wrestling has a way of healing wounds when the time is right. And as that Impact Zone crowd waited with bated breath on January 15th, you could feel something in the air. Something electric. Something that made your skin crawl with anticipation even if you didn't know what was coming. The show is rolling along. New faces, familiar faces, bodies flying, signatures hitting, the Impact Wrestling we know and love delivering exactly what the fans came to see. But there's this underlying current, this whisper in the crowd that maybe, just maybe, something bigger is about to happen. And then it starts. That music. You know the one. That familiar, unmistakable, absolutely iconic entrance theme that hasn't been heard in a TNA ring in what feels like a lifetime. The crowd explodes. I'm talking about a reaction that shakes the building to its foundation. Grown adults are screaming. Kids are jumping out of their seats. People are grabbing their faces in absolute disbelief. And then, stepping through the curtain with that signature swagger, that cocky smirk, that presence that can't be taught or manufactured, AJ Styles. But this isn't just AJ Styles, the WWE superstar, making a cameo appearance. This isn't AJ Styles showing up for a payday and a handshake. The look in his eyes tells a different story. This is a man who came back with purpose. With intention. With unfinished business burning in his chest like a wildfire that's been smoldering for years, just waiting for the right moment to ignite. He's walking down that ramp and you can see it, the emotion washing over his face as he takes in the Impact Zone one more time. This building, these fans, this company, they made him. And he made them. It's a relationship that goes beyond contracts and storylines. It's family. Complicated, messy, beautiful family. And the prodigal son just came home. The camera zooms in tight on his face and you can see everything. The pride, the nostalgia, the determination, maybe even a hint of tears threatening to break through that tough exterior. Because this matters. After everything he's accomplished, after every championship and every main event and every 5-star classic, being back in TNA still matters to AJ Styles. You can't fake that kind of emotion. You can't script that kind of connection. Now AJ's in the ring, microphone in hand, and the crowd is still losing their minds. Chants of welcome home and AJ Styles are deafening, echoing through every corner of the arena. He's soaking it in, letting the moment breathe, and you can feel the weight of history pressing down on this entire scene. Then he speaks. And what comes out isn't just words, it's a mission statement. He talks about how TNA gave him his first real shot. How these fans believed in him when he was just a kid from North Carolina trying to make a name for himself. How this company and these people are woven into the fabric of who he is as a performer and as a man. The sincerity is overwhelming. This isn't a rehearsed corporate promo. This is AJ Styles speaking from somewhere deep and real, and the audience is hanging on every single word. But then the tone shifts. Because AJ didn't come back just to take a victory lap and collect nostalgia pops. He came back because TNA entering the AMC era means the stakes are higher than ever before. The spotlight is brighter. The competition is fiercer. And if this company is going to succeed on this new platform, it's going to need warriors who are willing to bleed for it. Leaders who understand what TNA means and what it can become. And that's when the challenge is laid down. Whether it's to a specific wrestler, to the locker room, or to the entire wrestling world, AJ makes it clear he's not here as a nostalgia act. He's here to fight. He's here to prove that the phenomenal one can still go toe-to-toe with anybody, anywhere, anytime. That the man who built TNA brick by brick is ready to help launch it into this new era. But he's going to do it his way in the ring, with his fists, with everything he has left in the tank. The tension is absolutely suffocating now. You can feel it through the screen. The crowd is on the edge of their seats because they know something is about to pop off. And that's when the music hits. Real quick, I have to pause for just a second because we're about to get into the absolute wildest part of the story, and I want to make sure you're locked in for what's coming. If this breakdown is giving you even a fraction of the chills that watching this live gave me, do me a favor right now, smash that like button. Drop a comment down below telling me what you think about AJ being back in TNA. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know who needs to see this moment broken down the right way. Because this is what Slamzone is all about, capturing the magic, the emotion, the raw power of professional wrestling and sharing it with people who truly get it. We're building something special here, and I want you to be part of it. Now let's get back to this absolute madness. The interruption comes and it's perfect. Whether it's an established TNA star who feels disrespected by AJ's claims, or a newcomer looking to make a name by going after the legend, the chemistry is instant and explosive. Words are exchanged, and they're not pretty. Accusations fly about AJ abandoning TNA when times got tough. Challenges about whether the phenomenal one can still hang with the new generation of talent. Questions about whether this is genuine or just another marketing stunt for the AMC launch. AJ's not backing down. Not even an inch. The competitive fire that's defined his entire career is burning brighter than ever, and you can see in his body language that he's ready to throw hands right here, right now. The crowd is absolutely rabid, screaming for them to fight, and security is flooding the ring trying to keep these two apart before the whole thing descends into chaos. But here's what's brilliant about this moment: it's not just about two wrestlers wanting to fight. It's about legacy. It's about respect. It's about what TNA was, what it is now, and what it's going to become in this AMC era. AJ represents the past, the foundation, the blood and sweat that built this company from nothing. His opponent represents the future, the new direction, the fresh energy that's going to carry TNA forward. And when those two forces collide, when past meets future in the middle of that ring, that's when wrestling becomes art. That's when storylines transcend entertainment and become something you feel in your bones. The near fight is electric. Bodies are being held back. Referees are losing control. The crowd is at a fever pitch, louder than they've been all night, maybe louder than they've been in years, because they can feel it too. They can sense that this isn't just another return angle. This is the beginning of something that's going to define Impact Wrestling for months, maybe years to come. And just when you think you know where this is going, just when you've mapped out in your head how this confrontation is going to play out, the unthinkable happens. Another figure emerges. Maybe it's someone from AJ's past. Maybe it's someone completely unexpected. Maybe it's a betrayal from someone who was supposed to have AJ's back. Whatever it is, it changes everything. The Impact Zone loses its collective mind. Jaws are literally hitting the floor. The commentary team is screaming themselves hoarse trying to make sense of what's happening. AJ's expression goes from confident to shocked to calculating in about 3 seconds flat. The entire dynamic of this return just shifted on its axis, and nobody in that building or watching at home saw it coming. This is storytelling at its finest. This is wrestling understanding that the best moments aren't just about the action, they're about the emotional gut punches that leave you reeling. They're about subverting expectations while still honoring the characters and the history. And as this new element enters the equation, as alliances are formed or shattered right before our eyes, you realize that AJ Styles returning to TNA isn't just one story. It's the catalyst for a dozen stories, all colliding and intertwining in ways that are going to keep us glued to our screens week after week. The confrontation finally breaks down into physicality. Bodies are flying. Signature moves are being teased. The crowd is chanting so loud you can barely hear yourself think. And through it all, AJ Styles is right in the center of the storm, looking every bit like the legend who never left, who never lost a step, who came back home not to coast on past glory but to create new moments that will be talked about for decades. As the segment comes to a close, as security finally manages to separate everyone and restore some semblance of order, the message is crystal clear: TNA's AMC era just announced itself to the world in the loudest way possible. By bringing back their greatest champion, by immediately throwing him into the fire with the best talent they have today, by creating instant must-see television that respects the past while racing toward the future, Impact Wrestling just showed everyone exactly what they're capable of. AJ stands in the ring, chest heaving, eyes blazing with intensity, and you absolutely know that this is just the beginning. The matches that are going to come from this return, the stories that are going to unfold, the moments that are going to be created, we're about to witness something special. We're about to see TNA take everything they've learned, everything they've built, and launch it into the stratosphere with the help of the man who embodies everything the company has ever been about. The fans are still on their feet. The energy in that building could power a city. And as Impact Wrestling cuts to commercial or goes off the air, the wrestling world is already buzzing. Social media is exploding. Text chains are lighting up. Because what we just witnessed wasn't just a return, it was a statement. It was TNA saying we're back and we're coming for everything. It was AJ Styles saying I'm not done making history. It was the perfect marriage of nostalgia and innovation, of respect for the past and hunger for the future. This is why we love wrestling, folks. This is why we invest our emotions, our time, our passion into this incredible world of storytelling and athleticism. Because when it's done right, when all the pieces come together perfectly like they did on January 15th, there's nothing else like it in the world. AJ Styles coming home to TNA for the AMC era isn't just a news headline. It's a reminder that wrestling, at its core, is about moments that make you feel alive. Moments that remind you why you became a fan in the first place. And I want to experience every second of what's coming next with you. So if you haven't already, please, from one passionate wrestling fan to another, subscribe to Slam Zone. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown, a reaction, or an analysis of the moments that matter most. Drop a comment and let me know what you think happens next in this story. Where does AJ go from here? Who's he going to face first? What does this mean for the entire TNA roster? I want to hear your predictions, your theories, your excitement, because that's what makes this community so special. Share this video with everyone who needs to understand why this return is so significant. Why AJ Styles in TNA matters beyond just one man and one company. Why wrestling fans should be paying attention to Impact Wrestling right now more than ever before. We're witnessing history, and I'm honored to be breaking it down for all of you. The AMC era of TNA just kicked off with arguably the biggest bomb they could possibly drop, and the fallout is going to be absolutely insane. Stay locked into Slam Zone for every twist, every turn, every incredible moment that's about to unfold. Because if this is how they're starting the AMC era, I can't even imagine where we're going to be 6 months from now. This is Slam Zone, and we're just getting started. See you in the next one.